In our last lecture, we had configured server 1 to perform network address translation for our internal clients so they can get out on the internet. The only downside is that we had to manually configure the IP address configuration on XP. And if we have many clients that need this access, we would have to go manually to each one and statically configure IP configuration. Well, better thing to do than that is automate the process with DHCP. So what we'll do now is install DHCP on server 1 and provide DHCP service to our internal network. First thing we'll need to do is actually install the DHCP service. I'll do a DHCP search in Yum. Two things we'll need is the DHCP server, and we'll update the client software. Now remember that server 1 is a client on one side facing out to our external network, and then there will be a DHCP server on the internal network for our internal clients. And so what we'll do is we'll say yum install yes DHCP and DH client. Get both of those down. All right, software is installed. The main configuration file can be found in etc DHCP, and it's dhcpd for daemon.conf. We'll open that up, and what this does is it basically points us to a sample file. So there's nothing in here. And what we need to do is grab this information here. Just make it easier. Come over here, and what I'll do is I'm going to open the file, talk about it, and then I'm just going to extract what I want out of that for our main configuration file. So I'll put VI here, and then I'll paste that in here. Press enter. And the items you see in blue, there's a pound sign in front of that. That, of course, is a comment. The items you see in yellow and red are actually examples of what we can use. And let's just talk about a few of the things we see here before we pull them out. So this is a very, very simple DHCP configuration setup right here. Basically, all it's doing is setting our domain name, telling us who the DNS servers will be for our clients, and then setting the lease time, because DHCP, the whole point of it is that these addresses are temporary on our network, and when the lease expires, they go back into the pool and they can be used for another client. And this is basically saying it's going to be 10 minutes, that's seconds by the way, and this is 2 hours. So that's how long of a lease time we'll have, maximum lease time of 2 hours. Here we have dynamic updates. We're not going to be using that in here, but these two lines, let's go down here. Let me actually go up here, and I'm going to uncomment that line. These two lines right here we're going to use in our configuration. So the authoritative, if it is the main DHCP server on your network segment, you should grab this out of here and make it authoritative. And then I'm probably going to change where the log file is saved for us, because we always like logs because it helps us with troubleshooting. So let's grab this out of here, copy it, come over here, and what I'll do is I'll just clean up this file because we don't need any of these comments. And then I'll paste that in there. Excellent, so now we have those two. And we'll continue on. Once again, we can have some subnet information sent out if we want to. Another example of more basic subnet information, and what we're looking for is really this one right here, because this has all the information that we'll be passing out to our clients. We'll tell it who the routers are, who the domain servers are, and what range we'll be using, and of course lease time. So we'll grab that, including the comment, and we go all the way down to the curly bracket. We want those. Copy, come in here, paste it. All right, let's go back in here. Let's look to see if there's anything else in here that we want. Oh yes, we do want this too. This is where we can set a fixed address if we need it. And we'll talk about that when we go through the setup part of it. So I'll copy this. And I'll paste that in there. All right, so there's our basic configuration file. Now we have to modify it, and I'll do that in the next lecture.